This is the WatchGeekTime podcast.
It's Watch Geek Time.
Exactly. Good morning.
Hey, Scott with Watch Geek Time, Tim with Independent Time.
Good morning, everybody.
And we're going to jump right in because we got a really special guest. He's standing by. So we're not going to waste a lot of time today. We're just going to talk about what we're wearing. We're going to answer a couple of questions. And I'll give you a little sneak peek. You ready? Oh, there he is. Okay. All right. So we'll be right back to him in just a second. Our special guest. If you know who he is, just don't tell anybody. Okay. So, first of all, Tim, how you been?
Good, man.
All right.
Yeah.
Excellent. How are things up there in almost Santa Barbara?
Yeah, they're busy.
Yeah,
it's good.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to let Tim show you what he's wearing first. Got some super cool on. We don't have the close-up camera because we got our special guest on another camera. But Tim, why don't you just go ahead and get close to that. See if you can get up there and...
Yeah.
There you go.
In honor of our esteemed guest, this is a German watch from the Kadokas, Stefan Kadoka, just east of Dresden. And this is the Kadoka 2, so it has the day-night indicator at 12. And it's a very sort of fun, whimsical, but elegant watch. So, love it.
I love Saxon watchmaking. Okay, so what am I wearing? I'm going to get yelled at because I'm wearing a titanium G-Shock. I don't care what you all think. I'm wearing a titanium G-Shock.
Somebody has to.
It wasn't cheap. All right, let's see. All right, now I'm going to show you who our special guest is because he's going to show us what he's wearing. What do you got on there, my friend? It's our friend Martin Braun from Spain.
All the way from Spain. Martin, lovely to see you.
Hello, my friends. It's nice to talk to you, and best greetings from south of Spain.
What a rough life this watchmaker has, right?
It's all right.
What are you wearing? Nothing. Oh, a shocker.
Like many watchmakers, they do not wear watches.
So last week when we did a what are you wearing, you had some digital watch on. It looked like some Fitbit kind of thing that you had on. I think it was a fitness watch you were wearing.
I have the fitness watch.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. It's a Garmin.
Move him to the middle there so we can see him. Move him because Tim's blocking his head. You can't see it. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yay!
Technical watch.
Yeah, technical watch.
My little mini computer. But for me, it's very important. I need to know my heartbeat rate during sports. So that makes it special for me.
Excellent.
And none of my old watches were able to show the heartbeat rate.
Yeah, what's up with that? You couldn't do that?
Did you have an Apple Watch maybe?
No, I don't think so.
No? Apple Watch?
No, Garmin.
Right, but if you had an Apple Watch, it talks to your phone. Your Garmin watch will talk to your phone, right?
That makes me nervous, when it looks silly running around and talking to your wristwatch. I don't want that.
All right, so we'll keep you on the air with us. We're gonna do a couple questions real quick. So if you just want to dive in, you can, but basically we got a couple of questions this last week. David from LA. See, I turned it off, it still rings.
Yeah.
See that? David from LA wanted to know, last week we talked about Roger Smith and George Daniels. David from LA wanted to know what's the approximate cost of that Roger Smith watch we were looking at. And I think we were looking at 3.
Right.
One was an open work, One had a Union Jack on the dial.
The other one was a tourbillon.
The other one was a tourbillon. So
Yeah,
how about that?
retrograde.
Let's just say the Union Jack watch. I don't know if there's any of them left, but
No, that's not for sale. No, never. For
never
sale.
was for sale.
No.
So if we just wanted to join the Roger Smith Club, what are we talking about?
I think they start right. I mean, again, it depends on the exchange rate, pounds to dollars here in the U.S. But I think that's the opening price is somewhere close to $200,000.
Okay, so there you go, David. $200,000. Probably Roger Smith works like the other independents. You need to give him $100,000.
No, it's not typically quite that much, but it's a progressive.
It's a deposit, and then what, he invoices along the way?
Yeah, a couple times. Yeah.
Right. They learn the hard way. Just so you guys know, independent watchmakers, and I'll defer to Tim, but my understanding was they would take an order, they'd ask for 50%, and then ask for the other 50% on delivery, but I think they realized that was a poor business decision.
Well, it is what it is. It's for some of them, that's the only way they can do it.
Well, right, but then maybe the patron then decides they're not going to buy the watch at the end because the other $100,000 is due and they don't have it. So I think they learned that with the other bespoke manufacturers to invoice along the way. It seemed to be the most.
Yeah, I mean,
fortuitous way.
it depends on it's individual depending on the watchmakers, and obviously the pricing as well makes a difference.
Gotcha.
I
Okay.
think. Yeah.
All right. So, how long to get one? I think was the follow-up question on that.
Daniels?
Yeah.
I mean,
no,
Roger Smith. I don't know what
2
the waiting.
years.
No, the waiting list is 6 or 7 years, I believe.
Okay. So, David, you're not getting a Roger Smith anytime soon.
No.
All right.
They occasionally come up for sale in the secondary market at auctions, and but they're rare. So
They're very rare.
yeah,
Okay.
I mean they only make 12 watches a year.
Right. He only has 3 people working for him, right? 4.
No, he's got more than that.
He does?
Yeah. There's a bigger team, but it's the annual production is 12.
Is he the actual assembler, or does he have other people assembling?
No, there's watchmakers that do the assembly.
There are. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I didn't get a name on the gentleman on this one, but he asked, when did George Daniels pass away, and from what?
George passed away in, I think, 2012, 2011, I think, somewhere around there. I should know, but I don't.
I'll find out, and I'll
Yeah.
I'll put it up here
Yeah,
so that we know.
he's been gone for a while.
He's been gone for at least 10 or 12 years.
Yeah.
One of our friends actually met with him quite fortuitously. Might
Yeah.
have been his last visitor, actually.
Possibly, yeah.
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 Before he went in for hip surgery, and my understanding, he didn't come out.
Yeah, I think so.
Is that the? Is that,
Again, I don't know. I haven't focused on.
we don't know,
Yeah.
but I'll find out.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get back to our guest over here.
The living.
All right, there he is. Hello, brother. All right, so Martin Braun, this guy here, has joined us from, he's down in Spain. He spends 6 months out of the year in Spain because he's the smartest guy in the room. Mm-hmm. And Martin, before we dive in and start talking about some of your watches and the history of it, I just wanted to touch a little bit about a couple things about Martin. We're all about the same age. I think you're the young one.
Yeah.
Okay, you look the youngest.
I got my
Better
hair. Well, Martin has hair as well.
Hey! Talk about hair. So, Martin was born in April of 64. I'm August of 64. Tim is
67.
August of last week. He was born in, I can't pronounce this, Martin. What's the name of this town called? Karlsruhe? See, this is the problem.
Karlsruhe. Okay, let's not do that. Scott and his pronunciations.
No good, and the letters don't work. So,
Right.
Martin, with that, I know you and I know each other well, and Tim knows you well, but a little bit about your history and growing up for our audience.
I mean, I grew up in a goldsmith family. My father is a goldsmith, made cases for wristwatches, and so I grew up in the watch industry. But when I was at the age to become trained in a job, I figured out that I had some talents in doing electronic stuff, and was interesting also in mechanical stuff. And then I found out that watchmaker was a nice combination of both. At that time, that was the time when the quartz watches were very popular. So I said, okay, then you learn more about electronics plus mechanics. But it was pretty soon clear that the mechanics is my major interest. And so I could develop my skills and everything. And I improved in my father's business the way of working. That means we produced from now on complete watches. And the breakthrough was when I found out that we can buy old pocket watches, restore them, and turn them into wristwatches. And that was also the moment where I was able to increase my knowledge, because I was attending at that time the master class in watchmaking, and nobody could give you a minute repeater because by nature they are too expensive.
Right.
And when you're in a training mode, you have to calculate that you destroy. So with my father it was possible. I could dismantle and assemble these watches, and not only minute repeaters, a lot of other stuff. And finally, or at the end, I had the idea then to make a watch brand and create a watch nobody has done at that time before, and that was then the EOS with the sunrise and sunset time.
So as far as astronomical complications, which you're the master of, what was the equation of time, the thing that spawned this whole fascination with astronomical complication? Because it seems to be a centerpiece on a lot of the watches.
I mean, at the end, it was then a logical process. So when I tried to make something new and I came up with the idea of sunrise and sunset, that was then the start for the astrological thing and themes. So at the beginning, I couldn't know that I was developing so many astronomical watches. And so you do one thing, the sunrise and sunset, and one logical step is doing then the equation of time. Because to calculate the sunrise and sunset times, you need the equation of time.
Right.
So I said, okay, let's do that as in a next step. And then it started a natural process, and I came up then with a lot of other ideas.
So what are we looking at now? If you take a look at your screen there, what's
the Astreos, I believe.
That's the Astreos?
That's right, Tim.
Yeah.
So that's a combination of an EOS, and it looks like it knows what month it is. So is it also an annual calendar, or is it a?
No, it's more or less it's simply only the months. But I invented a gear which causes an oval move, like the orbit from our Earth around the Sun. So it's not a simple round turn around and show the months.
Right.
This is a mixture out of, if I remember, five wheels inside, and they create a kind of a hyperbole. So it takes out like an oval, like the oval orbit from our Earth around the Sun.
So I see a center wheel, and I see 3 wheels around it.
Right.
And the marker, the indicator, obviously is on one of the wheels, and we see it right here between June and July.
So this smaller ring with the Earth rotates around the center wheel, and the center wheel is fixed. So when the whole plate underneath the small wheel begins to turn, it rolls on the center wheel.
Okay.
That creates then an oval.
So that's fucking cool.
I get it. No, it's very cool. So that the blue dot, which obviously is the Earth, rotating around the Sun in the center, makes
and
the.
my logo was the rising sun, so it was perfect to put in the center.
Yeah. No, it's very cool.
All right, let's look at another one here.
So I'll jump in here.
Yeah, dive while I'm looking at.
So I first came across Martin probably in what would it have been, Martin? Probably 2000, goodness me.
2002, 2003.
I was going to say 4 or 5, but yeah, you probably know. I actually had a client looking for one of your watches, which was the Labelle, I believe, was the hand engraved skeletonization. Very pretty watch. It wasn't the EOS. When did you come out with the EOS?
2001.
Yeah. So it wasn't the EOS was the first watch. Anyway, I had a client when I was in Silicon Valley in Redwood City, and I reached out to your agent, distributor, Lawrence. Yeah, there's the...
Is that the Labelle?
Yeah.
So let me bring it over. There's the Labelle.
That's a later one, I think. Anyway, I reached out to Lawrence and said, hey, yeah, I've got a client who wants to buy a watch by Martin. It's a Labelle. And he did a very good job as an agent, as a distributor. He said, well, I'm happy to sell you that watch as long as you take the whole Martin Braun line and become a authorized dealer.
Well, we've never heard of anybody ever doing that before.
Right. Instead of just selling me the watch, and give him credit, he did what he's supposed to do, which is not just sell a watch to any random retailer. He insisted that I become a retailer, which I was happy to do. And once I sort of got up to, and I met Martin very quickly, probably the next Basel World, and we sat down, and my mind was blown, and the EOS, and I think the Boreas was maybe you developed that by then, 2003 or 4. Anyway, that's how we started, and we did we had some great times in Silicon Valley. Martin came out, we did a couple of dinners with collectors, and
oh yeah, Martin's a good time.
Yeah. So yeah, we go back a while. It's
Martin's a very good time, believe me.
Yeah, and it's the Martin we'll talk more about the history of the Martin Braun brand, but we're now talking to the man behind the watches, the actual watchmaker, and that's always for me was very exciting when I first got into the independent world of independent watchmakers. Martin, at this point, I would describe his watchmaking and his, it was a brand, as he said. He created a brand and very successful. But he went from, creating a very cool complication, the EOS, which I don't think anybody had done in a wristwatch. Am I correct? Certainly not the display with the crossed indicators.
That's right. That was unique.
Yeah. I mean, they people that put them in pocket watches, sunrise, sunset. Yeah. But yeah, the wristwatch, and it was a great complication. It's very easy to see it. It was, that arc on the dial. Typically in a pocket watch, a sunrise and sunset was shown as a tiny, small subdial in a big dial. So you almost needed a magnification to see it. Whereas this was a very clever system. And the other brilliant thing that I loved about it was, as people will explain, not everywhere on the globe has the same sunrise sunset. It depends on your latitude, i.e. how far you are from the equator. So if you're near the equator, this particular picture here is going to be fairly accurate because you don't have much difference between the summer and the winter.
The scale is short,
Yeah.
as we can see, and
Yeah.
and same on the other side.
Yeah, of course. But if you're up, in Northern Europe or in the deep south of the Southern Hemisphere, you need a bigger scale because there's a much bigger difference between the sunrise in the winter and the sunrise in the summer. And Martin figured this out with this scale. So your watch was almost a custom-made piece, essentially. And those two cams that sit down between 4 and 7 o'clock, those cams were how, and I'm speaking for you, Martin, but that was in almost the simple system. Those cams were, he developed and designed and did all the math to figure out the cams for your latitude. So you got your watch that was a custom-made watch essentially for your latitude, which was brilliant.
To Tim's point, to be a great watchmaker, you have to be a mathematician, you have to be an engineer, you have to be a metallurgist. And I wanted to make sure, Martin, before we talk too much about all of the pieces that I want to get to, your father, who was a metallurgist and a case maker, his sort of his DNA is this coin edge case design that's part of the brand's DNA. Can you talk a little bit about that for us, please?
Yeah, that's more or less not right. I was the one who
Oh.
put it up in our
All right, so we'll see what your dad says that you're taking credit for that. But go ahead. Talk to us about the coin edge case for a sec. I'll see if I can find a picture.
He's famous especially for women watches. So he made a lot of women watches. And I said always, hey, we have to make something different and more for men, because especially now when we start again with mechanical movements. And so I said, okay, what can we do? And then I tried to make different tries, different shapes of the coin edge. And so I like this rounded coin edge design most. And then I decided to take that for my watches.
Okay, because I do like the piping of the coin edge. And as I try to tell people, I'll go back to the picture for a sec. People need to understand that just about everything on a watch has a very specific description. The crown is an onion crown. The edge, the side of the watch is a coin edge. If you look at the side of a quarter, you'll see these very similar coin edge design. If you look at an onion, these particular watches are what I would, and I don't know if you agree, but I think they're way more German inspired, Saxony inspired than they are Swiss, although I've noticed that you've never followed the 3/4 plate rule of the Saxony watchmakers. So.
I'm going to be the contrarian to you.
Oh, you're
again,
good. Do. All right, good.
Because, one of the most famous watchmakers used that coin edge, which was Breguet.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So, and again, we talk about in watchmaking, there's not a lot of new things in watchmaking today. Most of what's been done has been done previously, maybe with a slightly different design, and that's why I say, Martin's depiction of the sunrise sunset was brilliant, because nobody had done that before. But yeah, the coin edge has been around. I mean, there's English pocket watches. Sometimes it's referred to as Empire style.
That's right.
So. But yeah, I mean, I always liked Martin's cases. They're classic and solid.
To that point, was the pocket watch coin edge more for a grippy thing, like we've talked about with Guilloche, or?
Maybe. I think
Okay.
a lot of it has to do with style. There aren't that many pocket watches with a coin edge bezel.
Gotcha.
Coin edge.
Well,
coin
you
edge,
said Breguet, but obviously,
yeah.
those were not wristwatches at the time.
No. But then in the wristwatches, the early Breguet wristwatches, they have a coin edge.
Got it. All right, talk to us about this one, Martin.
That was the called Astreus, again with the special gear in the center, and as an additional the zodiac signs down at 5 o'clock.
So we've got the Big Dipper here at about 7.
Yeah, that's diamonds.
Those are baguette diamonds decorating the sky.
They're not baguettes, they're round. Put your glasses on, mate.
I got my glasses on. Boy, you're snarky on today's show. We got a guest and everything. What's going on here?
And then there's Orion's belt.
You can see on that picture that was also done on purpose. At the Big Dipper, the 2 end stars, if you multiply the distance by 5, you find a polar star. So exactly the center of the turn.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, well, so I've known as a kid that the 2 end stars on the Big Dipper or Ursa Major point to the North Star or the Polar Star, but I didn't know that there was a mathematical number, which you just told me, right?
You mean these 2 right here, Martin,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, those 2 on the end point to the sun or the pole
Multiply
star.
the distance by 5, and then you will enter exactly in the center.
Oh, how cool is that?
Ah,
How cool is
very
that?
cool.
And over
See,
here, now see.
I learned something there.
All right, good. Thank God.
Flying.
I don't know everything.
Yeah, well, I do.
Yeah. So that's Orion's belt, those 3 stars in the middle, right? Martin? Can you hear me?
It's very difficult to hear you because you are at a bigger distance.
He's farther away. So 3 stars. We got the 3 stars at 3 o'clock.
That's the star sign of the zodiac sign of Orion.
Orion's belt. So that's what Tim.
And the 3 stars in the middle is called the Orion's belt.
Perfect. Now, good. this guy down here, these are the tropics, right? This is the, this is the astrological signs?
Zodiac.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, Martin, which one is it pointing to right now? Can you see that?
Honestly, I forgot to totally.
Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? I can see. So the Cancer is the one to the left. So it's the one either before or after. Does it rotate clockwise or anti-clockwise?
Is rotating.
Sorry. Technical question.
We're moving on.
Yeah, it's 22 years ago.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Anyway, yeah. So that's the zodiac sign down below.
So I want to talk about this watch because I brought it up earlier when we were doing our test. I love this piece. If you'll talk to us about this watch a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
Can you see that on your side?
It comes up pretty slow.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember which one.
That's called the Notus.
The Natos. Okay,
Yes.
good. Tell us about the Natos.
That was the first time I made a declination. This is the little indication on the left side, starting between 7 and 9.
Yeah.
And the declination show you the actual angle of the Earth. So it means it moves between the turning point of the Capricorn and the turning point of the Cancer.
Yes, the Earth's tilt, depending on the seasons, right?
Yeah, and shows you the actual angle where today the sun is exactly 90 degrees above the horizon.
Got it. Yeah.
Dude. That's all I'm going to say is dude.
No, it's cool.
insane. Now look, I call this the little...
I like this.
I like this guy with the little...
Mine was very special. This is a natural stone called cocolon. It's a kind of an agate.
The dial, right?
Very, very fragile, difficult to produce.
The dial, you mean?
The dial, right?
It almost looks like enamel.
No, it's a natural stone.
And you call it cocolong?
Cocolon.
Is it hard to work with and put the numbers down on it? Those don't look like a plug.
It's fragile. It's very thin. You know, this is I
Yeah.
think 0.4 millimeters.
Oh wow, no tolerance at all.
Did you go to somebody in Ida Oberstein to cut this?
No, the dial maker did it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, you're right. That's von Krohn Rip in Ida Oberstein
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Germany.
Yeah.
See, you do know everything.
I don't know everything, but I've been around a bit. I'm a gemologist, so I better know
That's
about
right,
stones.
you are, aren't you? Well, so the equation of time, and you know, Martin, I don't want to, dance too much around this, but I know this is sort of a very special method of equation of time that you came up with. Talk to us about this indicator here.
I mean, this is like the equation of time in the Boreas. It's exactly the same. Only the scale is a little bit bigger, and that's it.
And this is the equation of time is, tell us what it is.
The equation of time shows you the difference between the mean time and the solar time. So throughout the year, when you go out exactly at 12 o'clock on the noon, then you can find out that not on every single day in the year, the sun reached the highest point. So sometimes it's a couple of minutes ahead, and sometimes it's a couple minutes behind.
Yeah.
And the reason is that the Earth on the oval orbit has not always the same speed, but the spin of the Earth is always 24 hours or 23 hours, 56 minutes and something.
Right.
But the speed on the orbit is different, and therefore you see the sun each day on a little bit different precision and not exactly on the highest point.
Got it.
Which is why we also have a leap year, right? Because the day is not exactly 24 hours long.
Yeah, but that's a different. That has a different issue.
Okay, so tell us about this fantastic, amazing breakthrough in moon phase display.
Absolutely. I mean, that was honestly a damn genius idea, because when I was looking on the moon phases of other brands or of other manufacturers, I always felt embarrassed or disturbed by the moon, and especially when there is a smiley face on the moon. I mean, nobody sees the moon in that way. And so I came up with the idea, like it is in nature, that the moon is always here, always on the sky. And so I put it fixed into the dial and let a shadow disk rotate underneath then of the semi-transparent moon glass.
Right, and on that, the image that you were able to put, it's on the back of that piece of glass, or?
That's both side printed. I mean, half on the front and half on the back side. And
Okay.
that creates a little bit of a 3D.
3D, yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I remember seeing this for the first time and thinking, wow, never seen that before.
So a couple of things that are really cool to point out. Obviously, the date indicator is super cool, right? It's got your Roman numerals at the main markers, which is right in your alley.
Mm-hmm.
I really love the details. Like, look at how Martin actually skeletonized the hands so as not to obscure the moon or the dial. These little details are everything. And also, I don't understand necessarily why you have the extra little diamond markers at around the dial, except they do create balance. Maybe you have a reason to tell us about this.
With this type of design, we wanted to make a step into a more modern design. You know? And it's not only that you sit down and make a drawing and say, oh, exactly, this is not the way we want to do it. So you make it with the diamonds, make it without the diamonds, you cut a little bit the dimension of the big figures.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, then you have to find, or to make a decision, okay, that's exactly the way to do it. And we have done all our designs by ourselves, so we didn't hire a design studio.
Yeah.
So otherwise, they could come up with something completely different. And by the way, we hired sometimes a design studio to rework the logo. And they came up with in my opinion, weird idea. They make the sun logo and the Martin Braun name in a square shape. So the sun much bigger and exactly underneath than Martin Braun. And the people did not appreciate it at all. They said, Martin, go back to the old thing.
Yeah.
People don't like change. People, they don't.
Made only a catalog with this.
So you never actually produced it. It was just a picture.
Yeah, no.
All right, so we're going to go to this one, and then we'll get to the classic in a second. This is the label, right?
The front, yeah. The label?
I don't know if he can see it yet. It might take a little bit of time for it to update on his side.
Got it.
Do you see the label on your side?
No, it sticks.
It
I
sticks.
see the Celine with the silver dial.
All right, let me see.
Yeah.
You take us back here so that we don't do this. Let me see if I can figure this out. Sometimes it just stops broadcasting. For says as we're going, but I'll do this.
While you're doing that, I'll just reiterate a comment that I've made many times on this podcast before. But you know, the brilliance of somebody like Martin is that obviously he has the mathematics, the physics to figure out the gearing for these incredibly complicated watches, and actually make it look good, but also the aesthetic. And to his point, you know, he and maybe there's, you know, whoever on your team, you know, they didn't have outside influence of, you know, what they wanted their watch to look like. And that's always, for me, the key with the independent watchmakers that I work with today is that, you know, they have both sides of the brain. And again, I go bang on about this, but it is truly unusual in the watch business. Normally for most people, they're either right-brained and they understand the science, the math, and the physics, and they can do the gearing, but then aesthetically they don't get it. Or you're more on the aesthetic side, and you can design a beautiful dial, or the hands and the position of this and that, and the case shape and the way the lugs are. But it's so rare to have both in one person, and that's when I met Martin, he was I was early days. I'd met I was working with Peter, Speak Marin, Vianney Holter, and I met and meeting Martin, and these three guys, and soon after was Marco, but these individuals were doing it all, versus the big brands that have
they have a vast team of folk.
Yeah, and they've got groups of this and groups over here.
Focus groups. Who's going to like this?
Yeah.
Should we do the dial this way or that? Yeah, absolutely.
So when you look at a Martin Braun watch, you're looking at a Martin. This is something that came from this guy on the screen.
And it's a Martin Braun.
Yeah.
I mean, can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. So tell us about this watch, and I'm just going to get it zoomed up because I love this watch.
Me too. That was one of the first pieces in my collection. I mean, when I came up with the EOS, I thought I cannot show only one watch. I need to have at least, I would say, 4 or 5 different models. And I was friend with Jochen Benzinger, a famous engraver in Pforzheim.
Yeah.
And he said, "Hey Jochen, why can't you do something special for me? I have this and this idea." And he said, "Okay, I make a movement with my hand engraving," and that was then part of the first
collection. Yeah. Is it possible to get the back of this?
Everything hand engraved.
Let me see if I can find one. Hold on.
Scott's going to work on trying to figure out if he can get because the back of the watch is, what you're talking about, Martin, right? The back of the watch. Yeah, Scott's just coming up with a photograph, an image to show people, because the front has.
Basic movement was a Unitas 6497.
Yeah.
And then later on, I think we had a balance wheel with screws. I'm not sure if the first version had that.
Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, Labelle.
I spelled it wrong.
Yeah. So that because on the front you opened up the dial to show the mainspring, and Benzinger did he did a little bit of guilloche underneath the barrel, right?
Inside of the barrel is guilloche.
Inside, yeah.
Inside.
Yeah.
Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, the movement. That's not the best picture, but that's.
No, let's see if I can find another.
But that gives you an idea. If you can find another one.
Let me see if I can.
Yeah.
Oh, here's one.
So basically he skeletonized the watch and did some hand engraving and guilloche, right, on the main plate.
Here we go. I found a good one, Martin.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay.
Wow, fantastic.
So
the bridge work is guilloche'd, it's skeletonized, and even the existing pieces of metal have been engraved.
Yeah, I mean he did. I mean Jochen Benzinger's been around as long as I've been in the watch world, and he's been doing amazing guilloche and skeletonization. And most of, am I right, Martin? Most of his work is done in collaboration with other watchmakers, other brands. I know he's done some stuff under his own name.
Right.
Yeah.
And we had a project, Grieb und Benzinger.
Yeah. Yeah, and those were the watches, they take old pocket watch movements, right? Pateks and Vacherons and yeah. But so that was the first watch that I was asked, if I could get. And
another reason why I did that was because it was easy to produce. I mean, Benzinger made the work for the engraving. I had the cases, and the casing itself was simple.
Yeah.
To produce the ears was always a kind of a nightmare, because to produce the cams and then adjust them, rework them. And here you have the hands, the dials, the cases, the straps, and the watch is ready.
So that brings up a question. Martin, were you making the cams in your workshop, or did you have those made to your designs?
At the beginning, we made them in our workshop, but when the number of orders increased, we were not able to do that.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense.
I had then later on, I had a laser cutter, and we let make thousands of cams in different sizes. So we took them out of the box, put them in, and if there was a little mistake, we could, with the file, we could rework a little bit until we find the right measurements.
Right. Yeah.
All right, tell us about this piece.
This is out of the last collection. Unfortunately, it never can realized because that was at the end with Frank Müller. It's only the equation of time, and through the fact that it was a little bit difficult to adjust, I add another rotating disc that you see which month we are, so it's easy to set.
So that's this guy at 7 o'clock with the indicator, the triangle indicator.
Yes.
Ah, got it.
Oh, I see.
The hand comes forward and backwards, and for instance, 10 minutes occur twice a year, and you do not know which 10 minutes you are.
Which side? Yeah, I got you.
First go to the extreme. When it goes up to 15 minutes, then you know, okay, we are in the fall.
Yeah.
When it goes only up to 11 minutes, oh yeah, we're in the spring. And so it's much easier to recognize and to adjust.
Yeah.
I want to find the chronograph because I know that's an in-house movement. Hold on.
I was going to say that was what this is. The watch that Scott's pulling up was one of my. Is it this one? No, it's a different watch.
Is it the other chrono?
Yeah, it's a 2-register chrono.
Let me just
was
see
the one
it.
which I enjoyed. I don't know if it's gonna,
Maybe it's not a picture of it here, but
Yeah.
we'll deal with this one.
that's a different. Yeah, no, that's a different one.
That's a different one?
That's a 7750.
7750.
Yeah, yeah. No, the one that I like, Martin, is there's a chronograph you did right towards the end. It was a manual wind. No, sorry, it's an automatic. I think you had an automatic chrono with 2 registers.
Yeah, that was a movement coming from Frank Müller.
It was. Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a chronograph. Is it
Yeah.
this one? There's the 2 register. I found it.
That may be it.
That's it.
That's probably it.
Yeah. So this is your movement though, right? I mean, this is this is
Frank Müller movement, but that was a design study, never realized.
Got it. I don't know. Yeah.
well, you've got the 88 is the main movement and the 98's the chronograph. Am I correct?
Right?
Okay. See, I do know everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was the impressive thing, again, for me is, when I first met Martin, he created these amazing complications,
Right.
not seen before in wristwatches. And he was using very good, tried and tested movements, ETA movements to power them, because you need the torque to power the complications. And then once he, built the business, he was able then to do what most of the watchmakers want to do, is design their own movements from scratch. So he came up with an automatic movement called the MAB. You mentioned MAB 88, which is a very.
I should have brought it out, but we've seen it.
Yeah. We've shown it here before, but it's a lovely, elegant, thin automatic movement that.
And it takes modules very nicely. And
Yeah.
this smarty pants right here figured out that if he made a nice base movement, he could slap lots of goodies on it. So, but by the way, on the screen I've got the classic. I love two-handed watches. I would say to you, Martin, I need one of these. Take the date off for me. That's how simple I am. But tell me the inspiration of this simple two-handed watch.
It was also inspired by the idea to have something, again, more simple. I mean, at that set time, we assembled the Kephalors or annual calendars, and that's a nightmare for a watchmaker. That means we need hours, weeks to produce one. And to accelerate the business a little bit, it was necessary that we have some more simple stuff. And therefore we came up with the idea to make something pretty simple, pretty clear, slim, elegant, not oversized. And yeah, the result was then the classic. I mean, these sunburst dials are amazing, fine hands, everything was really elegant. And by the way, it was a very, very successful model.
Oh, good.
Talking about the date, you do not like this. If you don't have a date, the people come, why don't you have a date? The date is important, we need to have a date. So, yeah.
Let me show you why you don't need a date. Because this little company came up with the same watch, this little brand from Glajuta, and boy, does that look similar. Now, for me, for you, because I know you and I love you, I'm happy that this tiny little crappy watch brand, Long & Sona, has decided that, you know, they're going to do something similar. Not that they copied you. This is a very kind of classic design. But the fact that it's so close. And look. I'd rather spend 35,000 euro because they left the date off.
So we should also talk about, for me anyway, one of the most significant parts of Martin's story was towards the end, which Martin, this may be more difficult for you than I'm thinking, so apologies. But the Antoine Martin segment of your career, again, to me, you produced one of the most significant watches. And we've talked about it before on this program. And I was very happy to capture some images, but it's the Slow Runner. And I know you've made way more complicated watches. At the same time, you had an incredible tourbillon with a big date, with a silicium parts in it, which again, technically brilliant. The watch was cool. But for me, this watch, the Slow Runner, is bittersweet because the story is very sad as to why it isn't. There aren't more of them around. I had the absolute tremendous honor of finding a client, finding a home for one of these, and the fellow still has it in San Francisco. But this watch, I mean, when you showed me, you had a prototype with me, and we had a meeting in Basel World, and I bumped into you in the hall before the show, even the day before. And I was like, Martin, do you have that watch? Because he'd sent me a preview picture. Mm-hmm. And he goes, yeah, is this one? And pulled it off his wrist. and it was...
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, I'd never seen anything like it. And when you see the balance wheel just slowly...
And I will put a video up of it. I know I've done it in the past, but I want you guys to see it. And we have the watchmaker here with us, so obviously...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I ever asked you the inspiration back then, because I was just blown away by the watch, but what went through your mind as to, why create a watch like this?
Let me get over.
The reason was, there are several reasons. One of the reasons was, at that time, everybody increased the frequency. Mm. So when you look on the balance wheel, you see nothing. And the balance wheel is the heart and the soul of a movement, of a watch. Yeah. And so I decided, we make a radical cut, but we make something totally beautiful. The biggest balance wheel ever built in a wristwatch, and we decreased the frequency down to 7,200. Right. Knowing exactly that the watch never can run that accurate like a modern movement. But, who cares nowadays? We have all our mobile phones, we have these electronic gizmos, and we have the precise time wherever we are. And right. So I was calculating maybe with 30 seconds deviation a day, and said, okay, but I personally, I do not care, but I have something really counts you down when you look on the second hand jumps in the second steps. That's amazing. To listen to the watches is almost the beat of our heartbeat.
Yeah.
So and this is something brings you down and reminds you that are other things important and not only rush around.
You're a poet as well.
Very nicely said. One thing I noticed about the watch when it first came out, and we all know Bruno was very excited, Bruno Jafar. One thing I noticed that I thought was so special was the fact that the second hand moves a half second at a time. So in terms of this big balance wheel that's rocking itself back and forth, it was so hypnotic to see this watch in action. And here, I'm going to flip this around so we can, right now we got the little video playing of this massive balance wheel going back and forth. So, and actually, you know, I don't know if you remember, but this was sort of yours and my maiden voyage when I came to Basel and you guys were showing this watch off. And it was just, it's magnificent. And I think it's an opus piece for sure.
Yeah, I mean the finishing on that bridge that holds the balance, you know, I mean it's just, yeah, and this is a computer generated video, so the pictures that I've shown here before of the actual watch, I mean it's spectacular. So I just had to get that mention in because to me that's it's a seminal watch, and it blew me away. It still does.
Tim, I would like to send some special greetings to that German guy who manufactured the hairsprings and let us running in the trap, because he knew exactly that this hairspring will work properly, and don't remind us to change a little bit of the fixation of the silicium hairspring. If he gave us this device, it would be a completely game changer, because we had so many orders for the watch that I would be still on the market, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't think there's any doubt.
Yeah, and again, I know this brings up, you know, some difficult things to talk about it, but it's so that what was novel about that watch was that hairspring was silicium, right?
Yeah.
Right. And what was it? Was a balance wheel made of titanium?
The balance wheel was made out of titanium.
Yeah.
And the hairspring made out of silicium, but he didn't get the frequency proper.
Yeah, the silicium parts, they come on a wafer.
Yeah.
And when we assembled the first hairspring, it ran almost perfectly. We took out the second one, and then we had all of a sudden a rate of 8,600, and the next one 8,800, and the other one only 6,500. So it was impossible to assemble watches with this variation of the frequency.
And I knew nothing at the time. I still know nothing, as we figured out on this show. But I said to Martin, why don't you just have the guy make more hairsprings? And Martin just looked at me and went, oh, you bastard. If it was that easy, sure, he'll make the hairsprings and I'll wait 6-7 months for them and they still won't be right. So yeah, it was a real problem.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare, Scott. It was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Very, very sad, you know, for me, you know, I had tons of collectors that would have.
Oh, it's magnificent in every way. And the other thing I really noticed about it that kind of Bruno and I touched upon was it's really German. I mean, it has strong German angles, and for a Swiss-made watch, it was really reminiscent of a German watch, at least for me. It struck me as you know, the strong angles and the.
We should also show, if we have time, the big date tourbillon.
Let's get to that, because we do have time, and then we'll call it after that. Let me get that going.
Because that was, I think you were probably one of the first watchmakers, right, Martin, using silicium in a tourbillon?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. How
the purpose on the tourbillon big date was also to have one of the biggest balance wheels.
Right.
When I had the first show, it was in Singapore, and the guy brought up a lot of tourbillons, and all these tiny little balance wheels flipping around, and my one was really impressive.
It was almost like third of the diameter of the dial, if I remember rightly.
Yes.
Yeah, it was huge.
Where is it? I'm still looking. You guys talk.
Yeah, I mean it was. I mean I remember when you showed that watch, and I was like, wow, this is crazy, and I've got great photographs of it. It was
I found it. Okay.
Yeah, tourbillon big there.
Tourbillon big date. Here we go.
Like that's my photograph.
Oh, that is your photograph. How about that? All right.
I believe that's my shirt. Yeah.
So a couple things. Obviously, silicium. If we're going to really dig in, you guys can see the silicium there with the colors. Are you getting the image on that, Martin? You want to talk about this one a little bit?
Thumbs up.
Okay. And again, skeletonized hands, so as not to obscure the dial.
But yeah, that
big ass tourbillon, star of the show, big ass date, very German big ass date.
A useful complication like the big date, that was also not so difficult to produce. Here was the focus more on the tourbillon cage, that the parts are really high glossy polished. That is really shows this class and
was
quality.
Was the cage titanium? Or was it steel?
No, it's steel.
It's steel, yeah, okay. And that, I mean, that photograph, I was able to, it's not the greatest photograph.
I got another one here.
Yeah, that's my photograph again.
Also your photograph?
Yeah.
Boy, Tim's the only one with polished steel. So.
Yeah, like Tim explained a couple of shows before.
Right, and this is important because many manufacturers think they need to put a tourbillon in some noble metal to justify the price, but not. Martin did what he thought was best, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fantastic value, and I mean, I remember seeing that tourbillon, and as Martin said, most tourbillons in wristwatches were tiny. They were, under 10 millimeters. They were 5, 6, 7 millimeters, right?
I mean, that is the star of the show, ain't it?
Yeah. But also that first image, I didn't know at the time, but once I got back and looked at the image, you were able to see the color that one has it as well. You can see the color of the silicium of the escape wheel.
Right, and I just want to make sure people understand. I know it's a little, we're not
blurry.
It's perfectly to the high polished steel.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it just, anybody that has, collectors nowadays, all of them have loops, 10 power loops. So, to be able to stare at this under a loop was very cool. It is very cool.
And again, I don't want to break anybody's heart, Martin, but we'll wrap up on talking about this super complicated rocket ship you created here. I think this is the Breguet 160. I'm going to put everything I've ever done into one watch. I'm assuming you've got it up on your screen. It's got the massive tourbillon at 6. It's got the sunrise and sunset at, I guess that's 5. It's got the astrological at 3. It's got that. I mean, come on, give it to us.
So, a retrograde moon phase, night and day, equation of time, the day, month.
Yeah.
That's the front side.
Yeah.
And then flip to the back side.
Let me find the back, because the back is super cool. Hold on, because the back, this is a system that Martin came up with so that you could set the watch properly. Let me see if I've got, there it is. Hooray, I've got it. And here we go, we're gonna go back.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Forgot about this.
Tell us about this, because this is,
Isn't that beautiful?
this is such serious business for a watch. Explain this.
That's also the invention I have done on the Notus. That's the declination of time. But here, we made it in a graphical way. That means the world map stands still, and these red lines show you then where actual today is the sun at noon, directly 90 degrees above the horizon. So this red line moves up from the turning point of the Cancer down to the turning point of the Capricorn.
And this is adjusted with a pusher?
there is one corrector pusher, and if you set the sunrise and sunset, it sets automatically then the declination.
Yeah, incredibly amazing. And then this was an 8-day, is that an 8-day power? Yeah, 8-day power reserve.
Yes, 8-day power reserve.
Now, so just so everybody understands, an 8-day power reserve, and there's an awful lot of stuff going on this watch. So for the power reserve, so it's got 2 barrels in it, correct?
Right.
Right. So do we have any shots of the back of this anywhere?
Yeah, you're just showing it.
The backside?
Yeah, that's what we were looking at.
Oh, but it doesn't show. It shows that it's this, but it doesn't have any of the movement showing.
With the back, with the back off.
So the back off. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's okay.
Yeah, and then that's what's that one? What's that, Martin?
What's going on here?
That was the perpetual calendar.
Oh,
You see
yes.
also the big
Tourbillon.
balance wheel
Oh, this is not a tourbillon,
made
right?
out of titanium,
Right,
regulated with gold screws.
right.
It's also the beautiful geometry, and beside the balance wheel is the power reserve.
Right, so this is not a tourbillon.
No,
No,
it's not a tourbillon.
just a big titanium balance wheel.
Yes.
Yeah, with the gold. Yeah, and then the front side.
18 millimeters.
Yeah, and the front side of this is the perpetual calendar that has. I remember it has the 2 day
I think
night.
it's this right here. There it is.
No, because that's got a tourbillon on it with a regulator. So that's not it. That's a different one.
Oh, that's a different watch. Okay.
Yeah, that was the one that came after it.
Do you see it here?
No, same thing. It's the.
It's
not
it's
Braun,
this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a skeleton dial one. So that's good to show.
Yeah, yeah. This is interesting because when I asked Martin about this watch at your shop, actually this is not the watch I asked Martin about. There was a watch that was almost completely blacked out, black hands, black dial, and I said,
Yeah.
I said you can't even tell time on it. And he goes, "Oh my dear, this is for the guy who doesn't give a fuck what time it is."
So right, so what we're looking at here, this is a perpetual calendar. So you've got a big date down at 6, and
This
this
the
would
day of the week on the left and the month on the right.
yeah, and those, and then the 4-year indicator up on the top
At 12.
for the leap year.
And the AM PM indicator at 9, and I love the fact that all the indicating wheels are exposed in the dial, which is super cool too.
Yeah,
So this is the
Tim, that this movement was my biggest mistake, because never produce a perpetual calendar. It's a nightmare.
I'm told it's as difficult, if not as more difficult than a chronograph, right?
And 100 times more difficult than a tourbillon.
Yeah,
really.
much more difficult than tourbillon. Yeah.
I find the perpetual calendar to be just amazing execution that somebody can do it, and it's the least worthless complication on any watch anywhere. I can dial my watch around on March 1st. Give me a break. Yeah. What am I? What? Yeah. Who am I? I'd rather have a tourbillon than a perpetual calendar. Who cares? You know?
Me either.
Yeah.
I definitely prefer a tourbillon.
Yeah. But a perpetual calendar was always it was one of the difficult complications that classical watchmakers wanted to solve. And, what you're saying is important, because I don't know that many people truly understand how difficult it is to create a perpetual calendar that works. I mean,
That actually works.
yeah, I've sold enough of them of different brands over the years, and it's probably the complication that comes back the most.
I love this design. But
Here, especially in this movement, the biggest challenge was the big date.
Oh, really?
You have a small disc,
Yep.
then you have only a small angle to move. But here, you have a very, very big angle every day.
and you have 2 wheels, right? It's
So many force away from the movement, and a little mistake in any of the parts cause a chain reaction. And then
But this is two wheels, right? Typically a date this big has to be two wheels.
Yeah.
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 So there's a wheel on the left and a wheel on the right.
And am I right? Am I right in thinking you just said, Martin, the difficulty of this big date is it's taking so much power from the watch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because to switch a wheel with 31 numbers, okay, it's every day it's only 10 degrees something. But here you have 8 figures.
Right.
So when you have to rotate once a day in a much bigger angle.
Yeah.
And the mechanism then itself is much more complicated than instead of having only a regular date disc.
Yeah. Very cool.
All right. Well, I mean, we've covered a lot of ground with our friend here.
Yeah, Martin, this has been amazing, Martin, to catch up again. I mean, the last time I saw you was we had that dinner in LA.
Right.
In Malibu.
We went to Malibu, and God, that's going on a couple of years because we left for Yellowstone the next day.
You see, this is the tourbillon, is the perpetual calendar. Here you have only one pointer, and the way this hand moves every day is much less than the big date. So here the perpetual calendar made sense.
You mean with the regulator
the
hand?
combination with the big date, it was horrible.
Ah.
The regulator hand was easier?
The date hand,
Oh, the date
make
hand.
only a little step per day
Yeah.
instead of a big move like the big date disc.
Oh, so giving a chapter dial at 3 with the date made it easier.
I don't know if it's it was easier to
To execute, I guess.
yeah.
Did we lose him? Here we go. Oh, what's going on? Hold on.
Martin,
I lost Martin. There we go.
I can see him.
There we go. We got you. A little technical glitch. So, Martin, you want to say anything before we sign off? We've been yammering. We could talk to you all day, but the YouTube people will have something to say about it if we did that.
It's always nice to see you, and I follow your show. You make a great job, and it's always fun to watch.
Well, we thank you, and
Thank you, Martin.
We really appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah.
And taking the time with me this morning to make sure everything was working. And I look forward to doing this again because I know we both wish we were in Spain with you.
Yeah.
So,
That'd be fun.
I couldn't say it better. And I'm here, it's right now, it's absolutely perfect. So
Yeah.
have a great time, have inspiring other shows, and hope to see you soon.
thank
Super.
you, buddy.
Martin, thank you very much. Great to see you again.
You're welcome.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care, everybody.
See you later.
See you later.
All right.
All right, well, there you go. That's Martin Braun. Let me just get him out of the way here so we can leave him alone. And there's us, and here's this is what it looks like normally, folks. Right? So when we have stuff like this, and we get to do fun toys like this is what it turns out looking.
Right.
Hey, another amazing show, my brother.
That's right.
That was great. He's
Martin
great.
is,
He's the best.
He's the real deal.
Yeah, he's the real deal. We love him. And hey, if you saw anything you liked today, because we talked about a lot of different stuff, if there's Martin Braun watches you're interested in, or even Antoine Martin watches, which can still be found, but the slow runner's difficult, give this guy a call. Tim Jackson.
Happy to answer questions and talk to anybody.
Independent in Time. IndependentInTime.com. I'm Scott Goldman with the Watch Geek Time. Until next week.
Yeah.
All
See you
right.
guys. Thank you. Thanks for watching.